Oh man, I'm so bored. If only I had a game to play.
Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed.
What the fuck?
In 2001, the world was graced with the movie Shrek from a company called DreamWorks. After many attempts in traditional 2D animated films, DreamWorks finally saw success with Shrek, which was CGI. Even beating out Disney and Pixar's offerings at the Oscars, which was funny considering how Shrek was parroting what Disney was known for. It was practically the best thing that happened in 2001. And I really mean that.
I grew up with this film, so it has a soft spot in my heart, but we're not going to talk about the film, but rather a licensed game that was made to tie into the first movie.
It was a launch title for the original Xbox and was even developed by DICE. Yeah, the same Battlefront and Battlefield DICE. Whether that's a good or bad thing to you, I don't know, but I kinda want to see how loot boxes would be implemented into a Shrek game.
I don't have the original Xbox or any of the backwards compatible systems, so we're going to be playing the GameCube port, Shrek Extra Large.
I ordered my copy for cheap, so it came in this black case, but this is what the artwork actually looks like. Bad Photoshop box art aside, it's time to see what this game is actually like. Oh wow, we're off to a great start. Name my profile. I'm going to call it Get Shreked. The game starts off with a narration telling us that the wizard Merlin has captured Fiona, and in order for him to return her, Shrek must defeat the evil Ice Queen. So it's up to Shrek to rescue his beautiful wife. Anyway, time to see what this game is really like. Good God, Shrek's controls are just over the top. It's almost what I would picture Shrek's moveset in Smash Brothers to be like. The game's combat, if you want to call it that, consists of Shrek kicking, punching, and picking up enemies. But you cannot defeat enemies, you just merely knock them out, and they can get back up and kill you. They're almost the video game equivalent as flies that keep trying to get in your greasy face. God damn it, get the fuck out of here! Shrek also has a few items like onions and chili peppers. Onions fill up your onion meter, which makes Shrek blow out your ass. And the chili peppers let you breathe fire, and if you burp fire into your fart, it'll ignite. Link has bombs, Shrek has farts. Shrek's gameplay is just a standard 3D platformer, but rather reaching a goal, you have to do missions in the form of good deeds in order to progress. The missions are pretty varied, but most consist of collecting items scattered throughout the level. You help various fairy tale characters, none of which are really from the film. Besides the swamp and Shrek himself, there really isn't anything that resembles the movie in this game. There's none of the characters from the movie, not even Donkey, who is on the box art despite not being in the actual game. Now that's bullshit, because I bought this game for Eddie Murphy, goddammit! Even the character models just seem to be a completely different style from Shrek. It looks as if it were supposed to be from an entirely different game. The inconsistent style makes seeing a Shrek model next to anime characters in VR chat way more coherent. This is a licensed game, so normally I wouldn't care, but boldly exclaimed on the Xbox box art for this game is that the character designs were done by Todd McFarlane, who's more famous for creating Spawn and co-creating Venom. I'm not too familiar with Spawn, but the character designs he drew don't seem to translate well when being modeled into 3D. They were obviously going for a more darker aesthetic in his illustrations, but they seem to resemble the style of Shrek's original concept art before DreamWorks changed it. Fun fact, during Shrek's early stages of development, Shrek was going to be voiced by the late Chris Farley instead of Mike Myers. Most of Farley's audio was recorded, but was never finished due to his passing of a drug overdose. Leaks of Farley's audio has surfaced online, but huge portions of the movie was rewritten when Mike Myers was brought on to voice Shrek.
I don't have time to set it to music.
Oh, this is another one of those onion things.
No, this is one of those drop it and leave me alone things.
If Farley could have finished his lines before his passing, Shrek would have been an entirely different movie, but it's probably for the best. For a movie that potentially could have been Farley's last film, it would have been a disgrace of his memory if his last character he played would eventually star in a rape fantasy video.
He penetrates my butthole. It hurt so much.
I think it might be a good time to cut to commercial break.
Night, Shrek.
Night, Donnie.
You can stun your enemies by expelling gas. Eat a chili pepper and press the R button. Good! Excellent!
Anyway, back to the game. The missions in this game are somewhat redonkulous, but also amusing. I mentioned that most of them consist of collecting or returning items for a specific character, but usually there is a twist added to make the mission more stand out. Like this one, Shrek must fart on the disco cow in order to help the farmer. As asinine as that sentence sounds, this mission is somewhat difficult. The cow only comes out at night, so in order to change the time to night, you must ring the bell tower. But there's a time limit. Every time you get close to the cow, it runs away, and like any humanoid creature, Shrek's ass is in his rear. This cow is so agile that you'll be busy chasing after it, so you won't have time to turn Shrek's ass around and squeeze one out. Every time the time limit runs out, you'll have to go back to the bell tower and ring the bell, then run back to the farm and try to fart on the cow before the time runs out. This mission took me 10 minutes just to fart on a walking double cheeseburger. Levels in this game just outstay their welcome in general. They all consist of you looking around the level for objectives, and it can get pretty monotonous. The game doesn't provide a map to show your location in the levels, so I found myself walking around the whole level trying to find my next objective. Some missions remain consistent throughout every level, like catching these, fairies.
What did you want me to do? Use a fairy? Hola boys, you want to party?
While I think Shrek's controls are okay, making jumps is frustrating when Shrek seems to slip off platforms real easily. It just doesn't seem the collision detection was made for Shrek's large figure. Walking around certain areas feels risky on its own, and I constantly feel I'm being pushed off. Every level feels cramped. These areas weren't made for Shrek's lumbering ogre body. Damn it, I just want to climb up this fucking tree!
No! Bullet pile of garbage again!
And just doing missions is overall frustrating. They just don't provide enough detail of where you are supposed to go and what you are supposed to do. Like this one mission, I was supposed to wake up all the nights before it turned to day, and the way it said to complete the mission was that I should give them a good ringing. At first, I thought that meant I needed to beat them awake before the time runs out, but nope! You literally have to ring the 2 bells 4 times before it says you've completed the mission. Now that's stupid, because it didn't say anything about ringing bells. It's just so frustrating because sometimes all they show you is a cutscene of where you need to go and you aren't provided a map of the areas, so you have to use that max 10% of the human brain to remember how the game showed you how to get to the goal. You know when you were a kid and you played games and you got to a certain point where you couldn't figure out what to do? That's how I feel right now. And as for the levels themselves, man, there's a lot of them. You have forest level, candy level, farm level, snow level, ghost level, Windows 95 castle level. While I still think the game is a visual mess, these graphics were pretty advanced for the time. Well, the OG Xbox releases anyway. This game does have historical value, being one of the first games to use deferred shading. Obviously, it doesn't look as advanced right now, but back in the day, this was pretty alright. But still, as a game, it's kinda trash. Despite all the different themes, they all just feel the same. Yes, some levels have different missions, but it's all just boring, and that's probably the worst thing any piece of media could be. But there are fun aspects to it. It's fun to kick and throw around enemies, but I would rather prefer if I could actually kill them. I know that sounds like the words of a psychopath, but trust me, it would make things easier. It's not really a game for Shrek fans because it has nothing to do with the movies, and it's not really a game for anyone because it's just so below average. But hey, average is the word my exes used to describe me, so we're all not perfect.
Well, that was Shrek Extra Large, and you know what? I don't think that game was actually half that bad. In fact, I think it was the best game at... No. What have you done? have you done? Hey guys, sorry that this video took so long to make, but I've been really busy for the past few months, so sorry again. Just wanted to give you guys a quick update about what's going on. I'm going to college right now, and I'm applying for a few jobs, so videos might be just a little sparse. And also, you might notice that I've kind of lost a few pounds. So, yeah, things have been really changing lately. But don't worry, still making videos. Just want to let you guys know. Also, thanks for watching. Man, my freaking balls itch. God.